All right. Yeah, just like I said yesterday, really really feel like offensively we need to start faster than what we did. Obviously, 71 yards in the first half wasn't good enough, only 3 points on 5 possessions. Defensively gave up too many explosives, and then special teams wise, didn't feel like our kickoff or kickoff return units played like they're capable of doing. So we dug ourselves into a hole. Credit to the guys. They came through and made it a game there in the second half, but just wasn't enough when you're facing a good team on the road like that. So go ahead and open it up from there.
Courtney?
Hey Ben, we talked to Caleb after we talked to you about that final throw to Cole, and he said that the difficulty of it wasn't a problem, but he was thinking too much. When you watch that back, like what execution wise should have gone differently for him with that?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet. We're gonna watch the tape together after this, and I'll get a better feel for when he says he was thinking too much, what that means. But yeah, from my perspective, it was a play that had a lot of options, just like I alluded to last night, and Cole happened to be the one that popped the most. And it's a good play by Nixon for them. He came off of his guy and made a play on the ball. But had we seen it a little bit sooner and given Cole a better chance, I think we would have been pretty happy with that result. So I still feel the same way I did last night on that play.
And I know his the passing game in the first half, like I think to that 3rd and 15 that he and DJ couldn't sync up, and I think he only had like one completion over 10 yards early on. Like, but specific to that play, what did you notice about the overthrow there and why those two didn't seem to be on the same page yesterday?
Well, yeah, I don't know if there was anything with DJ. I thought he ran some pretty good routes over the course of the day, and we just couldn't give him the ball, which that was not the intent. I thought going into the game we might have had more for him than any other player in the offense, and so was a little surprised at the end when I saw the stat sheet for one catch like he had. So that was, like you said, disappointing on that particular play. Was good with the decision. We just left it a little bit high there early in the game, and something that I've kind of talked about, over the last few weeks is with Caleb is, man, how can I best serve him to get him in a rhythm early in games so where we can have some strong starts to the first half. And it's when you're asking your first completion to be a 18-yard dagger route, that's not always the easiest thing, particularly in those elements on the road like that. So something that he's certainly capable of doing. He makes that throw all the time in practice, and yeah, we weren't able to do it there yesterday that early in the game. So that's it.
Sean?
Yeah, hey Ben. I was just wondering if you could walk us through your thought process there in those final 2 minutes and letting the clock run down as you guys did.
Yeah, I think that was actually really well done by the whole team there on that one. You get the ball back with 3:30, and uh, you got a decision to make. Do we go as fast as we can? And if we stall out, we get another possession potentially, or do we go ahead and let this one be the last one? And we went with the latter. I feel really good about that. I feel really good about how we moved the ball down the field. Felt really good about our execution throughout, minus the third and one and the fourth and one there at the very end. So um, with a quarterback playing as well as Jordan Love was playing in that game, they had 8 possessions and 4 touchdowns, and he was finding receivers down the field and explosives and all that. The last thing we wanted to do, well, let me say this. The first thing we needed to do was score a touchdown, all right? But the last thing we wanted to do as well is give them enough time to respond because of how dangerous they had been on offense. And so, best case scenario would have been scoring a touchdown with under 30 seconds there, and uh, and then letting our defense go out and hold down the fort there for the very end to win the game. But we didn't make enough plays there on that last drive to earn that, right?
Jason?
Hey Ben, it's another game with Caleb where we see a lot of the really high potential, but we also see him struggle for a stretch. Do you identify any reasons for the inconsistency? And when do you think it's reasonable to expect him to level out?
Yeah, there's certainly some that you talk about each week where feel like guys are open and we can certainly give them the ball on time and give them a chance to run after catch and all that. And then there's that mix of, oh my gosh, that's one of the most incredible plays I've ever seen in my life type deal with him. So I do acknowledge your point there. And that's something we're striving to do is combine both of those worlds to where we think we're going to have a really good quarterback in this league, really dangerous quarterback in this league, really dangerous offense, really good team for a long time when we're really able to combine both of those thought processes. So we're not quite there yet. We're working diligently every day. I've said it every week that you see growth in so many other areas that I think when that last little bit comes along, I think we're going to be really pleased with where we are.
Kevin?
Hey Ben, obviously you guys faced a really good defensive front yesterday. How did you think everybody from line to tight ends to Caleb handled the pressure, especially considering who's kind of coming up on Sunday this week?
Yeah, I mean it's a really good unit that we just faced, and I thought they were really well coached too. That was one of the better third down defenses we've gone against, just in terms of what they threw at us schematically. They gave us some issues on our protections, and something that we're going to have to address and clean up going forward. But for the most part, I thought our guys tried to handle our protection plan. We had a couple that our technique and what we're trying to get done needs to align a little bit cleaner, but we also had instances of really clean pockets as well, where Caleb had plenty of depth and width and time to deliver a good ball also. So um, I thought overall, considering who we were going against, that was not an area that I felt needed to be addressed.
Herb? Herb, we can't hear you. No, we'll come back to you. Sorry. Adam?
Hey Ben, a quick follow-up about the interception. DJ comes open kind of late in that. I'm just curious what type of realistic option he is for Caleb in that moment.
Yeah, I didn't see him as being the answer in that time. I think he came open more after the ball was released
Yeah.
from Caleb. That Nixon was man to man with DJ and was trailing him, and ended up falling off and making a play on Cole there. So it was a good play by Nixon, and yet I still don't think if we get the spacing right and all that and a good ball that he's going to be able to cover both of those players like that.
And then to go back what you said about getting Caleb in rhythm early in those conversations that you've had with them, like what type of feedback have you gotten? Like, do you have a better sense now over the past few weeks of what he's looking for, what works, what could potentially help lead to some easy completions for him, so he's in a rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, his feedback is, you call it and I'm gonna go ahead and make it work. That's who he is. He doesn't care. You want to start the game with a deep ball, go ahead and call it, and I'll make it work. You want to start with quick game, you want to start with screen, whatever. He really doesn't care. So, and that's really, I think, where you want your quarterback to be. So I appreciate that mindset, and yet, I just want to hit the ground running a little bit better than what we have been. We talked a week ago about the passing game needing to improve, and that first half we didn't quite make the strides that we had hoped for over the course of the week. So um, we'll just go back to work again this week and get back after it again.
Pat?
Ben, I know Matt LaFleur was asked about the quick handshake at the end. We didn't ask you about it. Did you make anything of it or not?
That feels like every handshake I have at the end of a game.
And what do you think that there's something that your guys learned? I know you're not into moral victories, but what did you learn that may carry over when you do see them again in a week and a half, 2 weeks?
Um, yeah, I don't know that anything will carry over. That it'll be a brand new game when we go against that opponent again. Uh, but I know who we are at this point of the season. It didn't take that game for me to know that. I know we're a physical unit. I know we're resilient. I know that we play hard for each other for 60 minutes. And I think we're going to make things very interesting when it's close in the fourth quarter, each and every week. And so, unfortunately, we didn't come through with the win there yesterday, but I feel really confident in our group of finding a way to pull through these games.
Dan?
And what exactly happened with Kyler before the game yesterday?
Yeah, he was warming up in pregame and felt it, felt his groin, and so we didn't feel like we were in a good spot to have him play and compete and put him in that spot, and we'll see how it goes from here on out.
He's suffered a few of these injuries in non-game settings. Where does your patience level rest when you have a player that's in and out as frequently as he's been since you got here?
Well, it's disappointing. I wish I had a better feel for the individual, but with him being out as much as he has, I haven't really get to see him on the field and competing and get to know him like I'd like to at this point yet. And so I do know that the biggest predictor of a soft tissue injury is having a previous one, and he's kind of in this rut right now that we're not able to get out of. And so we're going to exhaust all of our resources in and outside of the building to make sure that we're addressing it and doing what we can to get him back and healthy again.
Herb?
Coach, what if any adjustments did you make offensively from the first half to the second half when you were able to really get going in the second half, but obviously not able to get going in the first?
Did I make?
Yes, sir.
Not one.
Okay.
I stuck to the game plan, and we ended up doing a better job executing, and guys played hard, and we made some plays.
To that point, is this a game you can look at as you go down the stretch here and you playing other teams that have legitimate aspirations of playing in the last game of the season to say, we got to find a way to start faster? It's cool that you can come back. You've shown that time and time again all season, but is there an emphasis on how you have to start faster, especially with the games down the stretch?
When you play good teams on the road, every little thing matters. All the details matter. We start off on offense with 2 penalties in the first 2 drives, and we don't overcome them. And so every little thing matters. And, we just didn't start well enough. I think to your point, you got to play and you got to utilize all 60 minutes of your brand of football. And we dug ourselves into a hole, and it certainly wasn't where we want to start that game.
2 more, Courtney.
Ben, I know you talked about the 3rd and 4th down there on that final drive, and using timeouts and your game plan for, executing the clock at the end there. The plays or the time that went off between when Kyle ran for 3 yards on 2nd down and then the no gain on 3rd down is like 117 to 35. Did that play out the way that you had hoped for, or were you maybe hoping that you guys would have moved a little bit faster to be able to get that play off? Are you good with that?
What for?
Just in terms of, was the urgency where you wanted it to be?
Yeah, I thought we handled that situation. I don't know a better way to do it, to be honest with you. Like I said, the less amount of time that we would have left on that clock to score, the better off we would have been. The entire offense knew that we were looking to milk that clock down. The moment it got under a certain level, I then relayed it to the quarterback. Okay, now we're good to score the touchdown. And so we were all on the same page, and I thought we handled that situation as beautifully as you possibly could, minus the execution on third and 1.
Last one, Kevin.
Hey Ben, on the touchdown to Melton at the end of the first half, just curious your diagnosis on that. You and DA talking about it today, what you guys saw.
Say it again. Which one?
The touchdown to Melton, just curious what you and DA kind of saw as you went back and watched it today.
Yeah, the one before halftime?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, just in general, 1:14 left on the clock, and before half, we can't allow a touchdown. Our guys know that. Something that we're going to address and clean up. But in that particular coverage, there were some elements on the back end. I'm not going to get into specifics there, that we felt like we could do a better job of taking that ball away. So I'm like I said, I'm not going to get into specifics on what that thing should look like. I think that's for our guys in house here, but we can defend that play better.